Hi, everyone, and welcome to Black Women Speak. I am Giselle Shapiro, founder and CEO of Black Women Speak, the movement, the network, the upcoming book, and yes, we are focusing on the Black Women Speak book series. And I'm also the senior producer of the Black Women Speak Network. And I am super excited and proud to share an interview with my sister, Alicia Hemphill. Alicia has proven herself to be a fearless and dynamic feminine leader. She's a speaker, she's a consultant, she's a change agent, and a power player in corporate America. How good is that? This woman is a highly skilled professional who can take command in a boardroom. That's important. She actively mentors the next generation of feminine leaders, and she is also one of the co-authors in Black Women Speak. It's time to tell our stories. How are you today, Alicia?
I am doing fantastic, and I'm so excited to be a part of this book, and I'm so excited to have this interview with you.
Oh, that's fantastic. And tell me, how have you been handling things given the state of our country now with the pandemic and the protest? How have you been handling all of this?
You know, my number one go-to with anything is to really find a place within myself,
Mm-hmm.
my true self.
Mm-hmm.
So I tend to withdraw for a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
just in order to find that place of balance.
Mm-hmm.
It's so overwhelming and it's continuing and progressive that without really finding a place within yourself for that peace and that rest, we all have to come from that place. We can do different things,
Mm-hmm.
but it should come from a place of peace, place of
Yes.
rest, and a place of concern for others. So I try to eliminate the negativity.
Mm-hmm.
I try to eliminate any type of offense.
Mm-hmm.
That's what works for me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that's
Beautiful. Thank you so much. And aside from all of the things that I've shared with our viewers about you, can you just tell us a little bit more about your background?
sure,
Thank
sure.
you.
So I'm a mom. I'm a mom of
Mm-hmm.
two wonderful women,
Mm-hmm.
and I have a grandson who's the light of my life.
That.
Uh, Additionally, and so I have to say that because that's what I do. That's who I do what I do for.
Mm-hmm.
I currently am a vice president of regulatory affairs for a
Beautiful.
consulting company.
Mm-hmm.
And I am a CEO and founder of my own business called Beyond the Limitations. Yes,
Yes.
super excited. Started that 3 years ago, and I have
Fantastic.
few clients that I help
Mm-hmm.
mentor and raise up in my field, which is
Mm-hmm.
very specialized.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also the chief CEO of operations for Covenant Daughters Ministries International. So I have a
Incredible.
full, I have a full plate.
That's fantastic. And your chapter is titled Turn the Nose, meant to stop you into a stepping stone to your yes. Now, how did you come up with that title? And can you tell us a little bit about your chapter?
I can. So, of course, I have been in corporate America for almost 25, almost 30 years.
Mm,
And it's been over a period of time. And as you can imagine, I hear people say, when you talk about racism and discrimination and bias in the workplace,
mhm.
I hear people say very frequently, there is no discrimination.
Right.
There isn't any bias. And so if you look at organizations, in a sense, they're right, because the organizations are not structured to introduce bias. They're structured to give everybody the right to advance at the level that they can.
Mhm.
So the organization is not
Mm,
biased. However, the people in them can be. So that is really my story. It's my first encounter as I was growing up. I lived on the East Coast, and I moved outside of my Washington, D.C. Chocolate City bubble,
uh-huh, uh-huh.
And I moved to a place called Hopkinsville, Kentucky, which was my first job. And there is a big difference between the two regions.
And
And
how?
and I was very naive,
Mm,
very naive. So it was my first encounter to bias and racism and discrimination. And it's the way that God led me through that. Like because if you think about it, discrimination and racism is violent. It's meant to destroy and tear down your inner being, your identity, who you are, and it's violent. It hurts. And so if left to yourself, it can really mitigate who you are, which then keeps you from moving forward and stepping into the greatness God created you to be.
Definitely.
This was a story that God used to reorient my thinking. You know, I don't know about anybody else, but when I come in contact with conflict, I pause and I get stronger. I get stronger. You can react to it and draw back, or I get to fighting. I become a warrior. And this is how God taught me to fight. And it was a mindset he gave me that caused me to have an overcomer's mentality and not to be overcome by the racism. And so that's the whole story, how to turn those no's into stepping stones of yes.
That's fantastic. And I'm sure our viewers learned a lot just from you talking about your chapter. And it's like you just step back and you get stronger. That's the way to handle it. I love that. Thank you so much for sharing that, Alicia. And what do you want the readers to learn from your story?
I want the readers to realize that two things. One, anything worth having is going to come with waves and waves of adversity. So it could look like racism, it could look like bias. And the thing is, you know, you have choices to swim with it or swim against it.
Yes.
So I want the readers to know there are strategies God gives that we do not have to be overcome and laid out by what comes against us. It doesn't matter. It's meant to strengthen us. It's meant to give us lessons for the next encounter that we have. I have a friend that told me of a story. And basically at the end of the day, she said, you know, spiritual warfare is a testimony that your breakthrough is coming, your redemption is coming. And I want my readers to all know that. That's the lesson I share wherever I go.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much. And tell me, what compelled you to be in this historical book?
Well, the idea of a lifetime of victories. If you don't share it and pass it along, then what good is it? I don't want the secrets that God has taught me, the strength, the benefit. It was the best way I could to multiply that and give it out to as many people as possible. Because, you know, at levels where we are, there's not very many of us. So I want one day to look to my right and my left and to see more of us than not exactly what helped me.
Absolutely. And you know, there's power in numbers. The synergy of when sisters come together, it's incredible. And also what we're setting up for the next group and the group before that, because there will be kids, young girls looking at these interviews and they're going to say, oh, I can do that too. That mindset, it starts kicking in. You know, so we're setting up for some powerful women in our future. You know, that's the part that really are what dreams are made of, because the more powerful Black women out there, the more support we're going to have and the better our world will be. So that's fabulous. Thank you so much. And tell me, what pulls at your heartstrings, given the current state of our country right now?
I think the uh, biggest thing that challenges me about our country is the prevalence and the increase of the violence
Yeah.
and the offense. You know, I love my sisters. I love my white sisters and
Me
brothers. I
too.
love Asian. I love them all. I love them because that's who God created us. And so
Yes.
to find us on opposite ends of a
Yes.
discussion is
Get
okay.
her.
Can we close that discussion
Hmm.
down and get back together and love one another?
Exactly.
And you know, I've learned over the years that there's nothing that will cut off a people from their next level of inheritance and advancement. And we're all meant to do that.
Yeah.
I have a mindset where we all can win. There's enough in the kingdom
Yes.
for
Oh,
all of
yeah,
us.
there is.
There's more than
Hmm.
enough.
Hmm. Plentiful.
But I can't get there for you. And to
Hmm.
see, I know that offense has the ability to blind us so that if you can be an offense, and I'm sorry for that, but it's going to cut you off. And that saddens me that the
Hmm.
sides that we're taking that we can't get over, that we can't forgive, um, is cutting off our own ability to move forward.
Yeah. And have you had any friends and acquaintances that have reached out to you and said, "Hey, I want to understand, what you're going through or what's been happening, and I really empathize with what's going on." Have you had any people reach out to you?
I have. I've had, and those are hard discussions, aren't they?
Hmm. Hmm.
You know, at first, I have to be honest, I was very upset. So I probably was not the best person to have a conversation with. But I found opportunities in my place of leadership to really
Hmm.
have a strong impact on the
Hmm.
whole
Hmm.
organization,
Hmm.
and to have those tough conversations,
Yeah.
the halls of in the places of positions of authority and
Hmm.
influence that could
Yes.
make a difference,
Hmm.
and see those being worked out. So it's not just a matter of being someone to initiate.
Hmm.
There's got to be a long-term commitment to see the change through.
Absolutely sustainable. Hmm.
It's got to stay, and that's going to take a lot of work, and
Yep.
that's going to all of us.
Yeah.
And so, yes, I've had those tough conversations, and then together we've said, okay, yes, there's something we want to do differently. This is our sphere of authority. This is our sphere of influence. We can make that sphere better.
Absolutely, absolutely. And can you share two or three pieces of advice to help our audience get through today's times?
Yeah, I would say the first thing is, get to know the God of peace, because this is going to
Hmm.
start inside you, right? I can't legislate your peace.
Yeah.
I can't put a rule around it. I
Hmm.
can't force you into peace, right?
Hmm.
So we know peace is an ever expanding kingdom. It takes over these forces of violence. Um,
Yes.
so my recommendation is get to know the God of peace for yourself,
Yes.
and get to
Hmm.
that place of peace as quickly as possible,
Hmm.
because there are in peace, I believe there are instructions on how to move,
Hmm.
and that's what we want to do. Yes, we can all respond as we have, and there is nothing wrong with protests. Do not,
Hmm.
but at some point there's got to be we have to shift
Shift.
the right way to do
Hmm.
it for you according to your path. You can't. You're gonna have to forgive. You're gonna have to release, and you're gonna have to operate from a place of peace.
Yes. Yes. Beautiful. And do you believe that the world needs more Black women to speak, and why?
Absolutely, yes. When I look at uh, Black women, I see women who are determined,
Hmm.
women who are strategic,
Hmm.
women who are extremely strong, and women who have the capability to adapt and adjust. So
Mm.
in corporate America, when we talk about diversity, diversity is one of the key core competencies for diversity is curiosity.
Beautiful.
Why is that important? Because curiosity is one of the keys for innovation.
Absolutely.
Well, we know that corporations that bring in diverse women or diverse men or diverse people, they experience a 19% increase in their business because innovation requires curiosity, which is
Yes.
for diversity. And there are no better women, no better people than Black women who have the ability to be flexible, the ability to contribute. We as a people are always interested in what's ours. We're interested in our neighborhoods. We're interested and dedicated to change and improvement in whatever we're attached to, whether it's church or our families. Well, when we become part of your organization,
We're
we're
in.
committed and attached to positive change. That's why Black women need to speak, and that's why Black women need to be out on the forefront in all of these activities.
Absolutely. You know, your expertise in corporate America, most Black women want more, but they lack the courage and the confidence to step up and own their truth and speak it. What are some tips that you could give women that are aspiring or have the urge but not quite the confidence to move forward in their careers?
So that's exactly what my chapter is about, is how I was able to, the Lord was helped me to reframe really what I was going through. I find that there are two types of people: those that will either run away from a situation, run away from a storm, run away from a problem, or and succumb to it, or those who are going to say, I'm beating this thing. And so in your struggles or challenges in your career for or corporate America, you're going to face those battles. You will face them. And so in my chapter, I really try to encourage a mindset that you can shift from being a victim to being a victor in that situation. And so that's really important to me. That's the number one key, is the mindset.
Yes.
Shifting your mind that you're going to win. You're not going to always be in those situations, but there are ways that you can overcome it. But you have to stay in the fight, and you have to say, I'm going to beat this thing.
Yes.
And that's when all sorts of ways or paths open up, right? When you make that decision.
Beautiful.
And then when you experience that and you have seen that victory, you know what? I could do that. Was pretty cool.
Right. Right.
Right? And then all
Right.
of a sudden you get to a point, you're just fearless.
Yeah, right. I can do this.
This.
I love it. And I love that you empower women and our next feminine leaders, because your work is extraordinary. You're making a difference in the world. And I'm just so blessed and honored to share your story, to share this interview with everyone that's viewing. And I just encourage you to keep it going. And I know that you're planning to write your own book and you're publishing. And I love that, because that can expand upon this journey and get you out there and just teach all that you have, because you have such a wealth of knowledge, Alicia. You have. And I'm so honored to talk to you today. And any parting words before we end this interview?
Yes. First of all, I want to say thank you so much for allowing me to be part of the book.
Thank you.
We were talking about before we got on how we're better together. We need each other. We need strength. I'm going to draw strength from my other sisters in this book, because guess what? There obviously is something ahead. We're going to need that strength together. So my parting words are: get the book. Get the book.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Get
Thank
the
you
book.
so much. And, I just want to thank you so much, Alicia. Love you to death. And everyone else will love you as soon as they read your chapter and find out all the goodness that you can share about your life and experiences that'll help us move a lot farther. And it has been indeed a pleasure to have you in Black Women Speak. My name is Giselle Shapiro. I'm super excited to share Alicia's story and 14 other women's stories in the book Black Women Speak. It's our time to tell our story. Order your book now from the website www.blackwomenspeakthebook.com. And when you order your book, order another one for your sister, someone that you really care about, that you want to help, okay? Encourage, empower, whatever. Order 2 books, and that person will probably thank you forever. All right, thank you so much. Thank you for watching Black Women Speak, and goodbye until next time. God bless. Bye,
Bye bye.
Alicia. Bye-bye.